Our next honoree is J.C. McCormick, and accepting with J.C. is daughter Amber. J.C. doesn't remember a time not being around music and not having an interest in it. Around 1950, J.C.'s entire family, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, relocated to Tacoma from Oklahoma just 2 weeks before he was born. They were all musicians, all multi-instrumentalists, and during the day, J.C.'s grandfather worked as a carpenter. But Grandpa Lee also played fiddle, banjo, and guitar, and was raised listening to Western swing music. Soon after arriving, he set about getting a job on KAYE radio, hosting the Lee Edwards Country Hour that turned into a family affair. During the 50s and 60s, in Puyallup and Tacoma, there was live music coming from every restaurant and lounge. Most venues placed a speaker on the street to entice people to come in. J.C. remembers standing at the doors, listening to his family performing. At this time, there was a musician in Tacoma named Cherokee Jack Henley. Jack played upright bass and guitar. He formed the Rhythm Ridin' Wranglers and employed J.C.'s mother and uncles. They played on Channel 11 TV as well as KOMO radio. J.C. would sit in front of the TV set watching the show. And to close the show, the band would look straight into the camera and say directly to J.C., "All right, time to go to bed now, Clarky." With his parents, when his parents had parties, the house would fill with musicians and their music. Using an empty guitar case, J.C. would play bass. By the age of 19, J.C. had his first job playing music, and by 1969, he was ready to strike out on his own. In addition to forming his own bands, J.C. has backed up several national stars that were traveling through the area. The first was Eddie Dean. J.C. also hired to play the last show David and Lefty Frizzell played together, along with their cousin Alan Frizzell. And among others was Hank Thompson. After a few shows, Hank called J.C. and asked if he wanted to do additional jobs, but by this time J.C. had a family and didn't want to leave his wife and daughter. In 1970, J.C. met his brother's neighbor, Chet Hastings. At that time, Chet was playing music 7 nights a week around Seattle, and around 1980, not 1880, I'm sorry, J.C. I didn't mean that. It's 1980, not 1880. 1880 would have been when I started. When Chet's bass player had to leave the group, the Roadmasters, Chet called J.C. and offered him a job. J.C. was the Roadmasters for over 14 years, playing primarily Western swing and country. One of J.C.'s uncles, Noki Edwards, had gone out to help create the sound of the Ventures. Unexpectedly, in 2001, Tim Wilson with the Ventures asked J.C. to fill in for Ventures bassist Bob Bogle. They were scheduled to do a show in Tacoma at the Tacoma Dome, and Bob was sick. This opportunity sparked J.C.'s formation of the Adventures, a band specializing in Ventures music. When the Ventures needed a musician, they called J.C. J.C. has been a strong sponsor of the NWWSMS, donating a Ventures electric guitar and practice amp to the festival for the raffle for over 12 years. He has also been one of the go-to guys who could put together a band for an annual Western Swing Festival at the last minute. J.C. reassembled one of his early bands, the Cherokee Band, in 2016. He's excited about playing the music he enjoys the most, Western Swing. In addition to their scheduled playdates, the Cherokee Band also performs at various community and senior centers. JC would like to thank the NWWSMS for sharing Western swing music in so many different ways, allowing him the opportunity to play with such talented musicians. As JC would say, it's been a blast. This is JC McCormick.
I didn't realize I did all that. I just started feeling really old. I would really just, first of all, like to thank God for everything that He's put in my life. It has been great, and it has been a blast. Secondly, though, I really want to thank my wife, my daughter, and my family sitting at those two tables. That is my family. I've met a lot of people here at the Western Swing, and I thank Mama Lou for bringing me into this years ago. And I don't know where you're at right now. Terry, Kristen, where are you? If anybody has had a chance to talk to this gentleman, you're going to find that this is a genuine person, human being, musician, singer, songwriter, and everything. A lot of times when there's awards to be given out, you hear some people say, well, he didn't really deserve that, or somebody else was better that should have been honored and everything. But I would really take my hat off to the board this year for putting Terry's brother in, because if he was half the person, half the musician that this man is, he definitely deserves the recognition, and I thank all of you for putting that support again for Michael. Seriously. And I want to thank all of you, everybody. If I forgot anybody, please don't hold it against me. Right now I'm a little nervous, a little emotional, and I can't wait for a couple hours because I get to play guitar again. And I want to thank this gentleman right here, too. It couldn't have been a better day than to receive this honor with him giving it to me. Thank you.